Welcome to Beans and Breakdowns, a podcast dedicated to bridging the gap between specialty coffee and the heavy music community. Today, I'm joined by someone who I followed for a while, Sypniewski from YouTube, I guess.
I guess YouTube. YouTube from Ohio.
Cleveland, shout out Ohio. Cleveland area, he's mixed pretty much every, underground and heavy tour that comes through for the most part. Things like Mayhalls and Foundry, and what was the other one that closed down? Fantasy?
Yeah, Fantasy, which was like across the street from the Foundry. So anyone who knew that location of the Foundry kind of knew where the Fantasy was because you would park behind it or something like that. Yeah, I miss that venue. That venue's cool.
Well, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for wanting me on.
This is going to be maybe a little nerdy in a way, but be patient. Bear with us. You might learn something, you know, just have two jaded audio guys talking at you and telling you how not to do things when you're on stage. Isn't that what everybody wants?
Yeah, and what not to do if the show is being filmed by someone with a nice camera and you're at the show.
That's a whole different thing, and I could probably sit in the audience for that one. Well, let's start off things with some coffee. I know it's late. I know it's the evening time, but do you have any coffee with you?
I do. Yes, I do. I actually have something that's from a local roaster, which is Erie Island Coffee. They're based in Rocky River, Ohio.
Nice. I'm only familiar with the kind of popular stuff in the Cleveland area and Akron, especially like Portal West, Akron Coffee Roasters. And like Six Shooter, Phoenix, Rising Star. I really like Rising Star.
Yeah, Rising Star is always the go-to for people who play at the Roxy or Mayhalls for sure. It's like right there, and Roasted as well, which is like right across the street.
So I haven't been in a while. It's been, I think, since last October, and it was very, very short. But I'm coming through in January, and I'll have like a full day. So I'm excited to check some places out.
Yeah, hell yeah. I know Six Shooter is a go-to for a lot of people as well. And their coffee gets used at a lot of other spots. So yeah, good coffee.
I know that they more do they have like the whole tap thing going on, which is, to me, it's like a gimmicky thing, but I don't mind it because, you kind of got to do something different if you want to stand out.
Yeah, especially like in the area that I'm so used to, like Lakewood, Ohio is like, it's all just like independent, trendy businesses. So like someone's got to do something different.
Hipster bullshit. It's great. It's great. We love it.
Yeah.
Speaking of hipster bullshit, I have my favorite non-coffee coffee drink because it's late and I didn't have a chance to pick up a bag from anywhere around here because everywhere closes at 5 p.m. But I have Cafe Limo. I don't know if you can see that. It's a mix of cold brew and sparkling lemonade.
Whoa.
In a can for convenience. And it's made by a roaster here in Montreal called Zab that's been around forever. And they do a lot of crazy, cool branding and stuff. I'm not the biggest fan of their coffee. I am a big fan of this drink specifically. So yeah, I had somebody bless me with like a case of it the other night. So I'm slowly going through it.
I mean, cold brew in it, you're still going to be up late.
This is a mistake. And I know that now, but it was more of like a time of desperation.
Yeah.
And it's kind of watered down, right? It's lemonade and cold brew. So in essence, it could be only half cold brew.
Which, yeah, so 2 cups of coffee instead of 4.
I'm praying that it's half cold brew because I can deal with that. I don't know if I can deal with an entire can of cold brew.
Yeah, I feel that. Man, I love cold brew too. I have a cold brew pitcher that I'm supposed to use all the time and I always forget. And then I'm like, well, tomorrow I'll do it. And then, I'd never make it. And I just have hot coffee out of, either the machine or my French press.
The best is when you do make a batch and forget to strain it at the right time. And then it comes out like motor oil.
Yeah, might as well just waste it instead of making it,
Just put the unground coffee just directly into the garbage because that's undrinkable.
Just smell it and for the effect and then walk away.
So, like, yeah, sprinkle a little bit in a cup of water. Um, but yeah, what is your preferred method, like machine, or is it French press?
When I actually remember to give myself enough time to do my French press, I prefer the taste of French press for sure. I want to get an espresso maker set up. I just don't have the room for it.
Mhm.
I love espresso, so it'd be nice to make my own, but I don't have the room.
I'm trying to learn to love espresso again. Working in a coffee shop has made me hate it. Um, for multiple reasons, and mainly it's because people don't actually know how to drink espresso. Elitist comment number one for the evening. So it's like a history of making an allongé or a long shot. Don't order coffee like that. Just don't do it. Uh, just get an Americano. Like, so, I've had to drink a lot of nasty coffee. And so now in my new job, I get to have it a couple of times a week from like a good spot. And I'm starting to like it again.
Yeah, it probably helps to not be the one making the stuff that you hate.
It's not even that it's like I hated our espresso. It's that I hated like making it and having to like smell it brewed like poorly because it was. So, it's nice to not like I love coffee so much and I love working in it, but it was just it's easy to get like have your passion turn into something not passionate.
Yeah, I feel that for sure. I can definitely relate in different aspects of things. I guess the way I don't really go to concerts unless I'm filming them would be part of that.
I'm sure that that's just a big can of worms that we could crack open.
Yeah, it's we'll just call it being jaded, but I don't know if I'm old enough to be as jaded as I claim to be.
How old do you think you have to be jaded?
You know the sound guys that like tell you that they mixed some band in the 80s? Like I eventually I'll be that guy. They're like, "Dude, like what do you mean metalcore? What is that? Like
What
what do you
is
mean you used to mix metalcore?" They're like, "We don't do that anymore."
um my mentor is that guy. But he's not I wouldn't call him jaded. I'd call him jaded. But he was the sound guy, the touring sound guy for Little Richard.
Well, that is 100% the right amount of time to be jaded.
And he was telling me a story like a month ago about how he turned down the Billy Idol touring mixing gig to keep being on the road with Little Richard.
Does he regret that?
He said that he doesn't because the band was really tough to work with, but then when the album came out, he regretted it slightly because
Yeah.
it won like album of the year for like wasn't it 1983 or something like that? 1984. I don't remember. I
Yeah, I
wasn't born
wasn't
yet.
there. I wasn't there.
I
I
wasn't
couldn't
born.
tell you.
I was like 10 years before I was born. So, um, but yeah, it's just I love hearing stories. Like here in Montreal, there's the guys that mix like they've mixed like really famous Quebec artists that nobody's ever heard of if you don't live in Quebec.
Yeah.
And it's like I mixed Eric. I was the touring guy for Eric Lapointe. I'm like I don't even know what that dude sounds like. Like I
I don't know who that is.
no,
Yeah.
I have no clue. I don't even know what he looks like. He could walk up to me in a grocery store and I have no idea who he is.
You could pretty much just say like, "Hey, I went on tour with," and just say words, and people are like, "Oh, dude, that's sick."
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. The main combo of words is I went on tour with, and
yeah,
then yeah, everybody will be like, "Whoa, touring."
yeah. You don't even tell them that you were just like there as the guy to carry the road case. Like you weren't actually hired. You were just hanging out.
You're D1. You're the drape guy.
Yeah.
Um, so you said that you moved back to Cleveland after audio school. Where'd you go to audio school?
The Conservatory of Recording Arts and Sciences. Most people just call it CRAS. It's in Tempe, Arizona. It's just like
Nice.
straight up, like there's not actual classrooms. You're just in a studio essentially for a year straight. It's all hands on. It's just like, here's how audio works. And then after it, you're supposed to go do an internship somewhere. And I'm like, well, if I go home, I have somewhere to live. And I already know people there from like being in local bands in high school and stuff. So kind of just came back home. No regrets. No regrets.
What is your, because there's a lot, you're online, we're online. There's a lot of hate on Ohio, or there was.
There
And I
is.
think a
There
lot
is.
of people misunderstand Cleveland. Because I love it. I love Ohio. I love like that middle northwestern or eastern part of Ohio.
Yeah.
What is the most charming thing about it to you?
About Cleveland in general.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of it comes down to like the way you're not from here and you just have like so much love for it. I feel like just the people's pride in being from here, which I feel like most people feel is really misguided because like we have like the worst football team in the world and like the city kind of smells funny, but like we also have these like really like nice little areas with like awesome food, awesome shops, awesome venues. Like I feel like it is the city pride thing, which sounds so like hell yeah, Cleveland against the world, but like I really do just like how much people love living in Northeast Ohio.
That's I think a lot of it I picked up from my dad because he fell in love with Akron and moved there like 6 years ago. And I was like, Akron, really? That's you want to move there? And like I visited him the first time and I was like, wow, this is a really beautiful place, actually.
Yeah,
Like
Akron gets a bad rep too. Like it's, you know, it's like an hour south and like it people just think there's not as much going on down there, but like if you actually go through the city of Akron, like it is super nice.
mhm,
And like LeBron, you know?
LeBron.
LeBron.
LeBron James. Yeah, he's had a lot of influence on the city, I think, in terms of like some of the economic growth that they saw, putting his own money into some of the schools and things. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm charmed. I'm charmed by it. I'm not gonna move there, but I love visiting.
Yeah.
And my band, when we went through last time, they've loved Ohio. Like I think every time we're planning to do a run, they're always like, "Can we make it through Ohio or something?" And so they were super excited when we announced the Cleveland show. But yeah, I think it is the people. It's like it might be shitty, but it's ours shitty.
Yeah, it's you definitely take some ownership of it and like, you know, anytime someone's like, "Oh, this city sucks." They're like, "No, no, no, you're on the wrong street. Like just go closer to the lake, like just take a look at from a different side and like look at it, man. It's gorgeous."
It's like Detroit. Like I was listening to something not too long ago. Apparently Detroit was like the richest city in the world at one point. And we all know what happened.
Yeah.
It turned into an apocalyptic wasteland and now it's back on the rise. Some like Quicken Loans guy or something put in $1 billion like a decade ago to
Okay.
kind of save the city. And like I went through there last year and it was beautiful. It was sick.
Yeah, I've been to Detroit like twice. I didn't think it was bad. Like I understand like for sure there was like a financial crisis there, but that doesn't mean like it's a bad city. Like
I I feel like people shit on those places because they like it's no fault of the city itself. It's the fault of bad. Oh my God, bad politics. I think and just bad business practices. Maybe like not so much of the people there. It's the people who own the things that are there. That people.
yeah.
So it's just. I think that it is like it's the underdog thing.
Yeah, maybe like the more so the people who like talk down on Ohio and Cleveland stuff are probably just like people from Chicago or New York or like they're like, "Man, we like our city more than you like our city, man. Our city's cooler."
New York's. I'm I'm not trying to get any hate. I don't like spending time in New York. I'm so sorry. I love things from New York, but I don't like being there. It's stressful.
I've never been in New York City. New York upstate, gorgeous, love it.
Beautiful.
I'll go there every year, but
hmm
never been in New York City.
You're not missing much, to be fair. Like, I think Cleveland has the same things, but in a more concentrated way, and you can park.
Yeah, I mean that's why they make the movies here that look like New York. Like
Same
why
here.
go to New York when you could just go to Cleveland?
Same here. I heard a movie exec one time was saying that, like, Montreal in a lot of places looks more like New York than New York looks like it does.
Which is technically impossible, but
How?
I mean, how can New York not look like New York?
Because it's changed so much. So much. So like the whole like walk-ups and brownstone buildings we have a very similar layout here in Montreal, and so a lot of like classic movies based in that era get filmed here because we still have all those buildings.
Okay. So like
The,
act like the New York that people are charmed by still.
the golden era.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate, but it's also way cheaper to make a film here and in Cleveland.
Yeah, 100% in Cleveland.
So people give Cleveland a chance. Also, great bands from Cleveland. All right.
Yeah.
Walking Wounded. What am I? Who am I? I'm missing people. There's people. There's. I know that there's beef, but then there's also Why did I prepare this? Grudge.
Grudge, yeah.
And then they have another band that I can't remember, and I apologize for that. It's all those bands they all play at like No Class all the time.
Yeah, No Class is like the spot for that stuff. Like if you want to know the underground scene in Cleveland and like who's going to have heavy rotation in a few years, you go to No Class.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish I did more shows in No Class. I just did that one a few years ago. I'm like, man, this place rules. Like this is underground Cleveland music right here.
I love watching videos there. It looks so scary because of how narrow and like it's just so small.
Do you know like what that venue used to be, and why it's so small?
I don't know the history. I know it used to be called like Ain't That Class or something like that.
It was called Now That's Class.
Now That's
and
Class,
the
yeah.
room that's like the main stage room used to be a half pipe. Like it was a skating bar.
Oh,
So it was like not really a full on venue. And there's kind of like a little bit of how the Foundry used to be in how that place is set up now, which I really like. Like the stage reminds me of it. Some of the people who work there worked with me at the Foundry back then. So it kind of still feels like home, even though I've only been there a couple times.
I really want to play there. And then there's also in Akron, there's Klinghouse.
Yeah. I don't know how much they still do down there. Because it's always just like you find out the day the show is happening there that there's a show happening there, and like if you're busy, you're not gonna know. Like you're not gonna get it.
It's such like a college like vibe, I feel.
Yeah.
So I mean, I respect it. I respect that hustle. It's similar like that. There's a house in Annapolis, Maryland that's kind of similar. That has a bunch of underground shows on a college campus, and they like literally announce it the day before or something and play in the basement.
Yeah, we have one up by like the Roxy in Mahals too, because when they redid that building, the basement that is now a bar used to be like this like just broken down locker room that bands would play through like just a vocal PA. That identical setup got moved to a place that's Birdhouse. It's called Birdhouse. So if you still liked those basement venue shows, you just go down the street to Birdhouse.
I've heard Birdhouse is great.
Yeah.
I've heard that the people who run it are really awesome. Our friends in Spite House played there on one of their first tours, and they said they really liked it.
Yeah.
So,
I love that there's still some DIY stuff going on around here because, otherwise it's, the same five venues. But
that's the curse of every city. Every city is like closing down DIYs because of safety issues or, noise, a lot of noise complaints. So in Montreal, they're just going after bars.
Yeah, that's
which is
stupid.
insane. Like, which that's like a whole conversation that I could complain about, but I won't. How did you get into music? What was playing in the house when you were growing up that kind of peaked where you are today in your listening?
I wish I could say the music that I grew up with is like what influenced where I'm at now, because it definitely was just like kind of going out and finding stuff on my own when I was like in middle school and high school. Cause like I grew up in a David Bowie and like, Duran Duran 80s music, new wave music, in my house. And then, I feel like people say this all the time, but Linkin Park Hybrid Theory, once I heard that record, that kind of shifted me towards like more aggressive and heavy style music. And I was just talking to my girlfriend about this recently. Like, I feel like if it wasn't for Linkin Park, I wouldn't do anything I do now, because they also got me interested in like audio production too. So like both heavier music and like learning Pro Tools.
It's so crazy that you say that. Like, I was showing my wife some like music that I'm working on, and it's kind of like new metal influence with like some shoegazy kind of vibe to it. And she was like, this doesn't sound like what you described. I'm like, it sounds like Hybrid Theory, but modern. And she was like, okay, yeah, like I definitely kind of see that. So, and there's so many layers in that fucking music. Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just a really cool thing to come across. It just kind of like shifted my perspective. I'm like heavy guitar riffs, like where you're not playing chords all the time. And when they did that Jay-Z collab Collision Course and I
Yeah.
watched them making the remixes in Pro Tools, I was like, I want to do that. Like that's the thing that I think is cool. And like that was it. Hard focused on that.
Wow. So wait, how old were you when that came out?
Collision Course or Hybrid Theory?
Well, I mean, I think we're probably close to the same age. So it would have you
I was
hybrid.
probably like 8 or 9 when I first heard Hybrid Theory.
Yeah.
Collision Course came out probably when I was like 13 or 14 because
Hmm.
they had already released Meteora.
Yeah.
Maybe a little older than that, but yeah, I mean, I also had a drum set and I was trying to learn like I was trying to learn like hip hop songs, pop songs on the radio. So like wanting to learn how to record my own drums also was a big aspect of wanting an audio production, but hearing and seeing like editing stuff inside of Pro Tools in that DVD that came with Collision Course, like I was so into that.
Did you ever get into like beat making?
Never really got into beat making, but I did get into like chopping and screwing with like just like stems and like mixing two songs together. I had some friends who did backyard wrestling and I would like trim out sections of the songs for them to use for their things. Like, yeah, it was, I don't know. I just liked to like open stuff up and mess with it, even if it was just Audacity, you know?
Yeah. So is Pro Tools I can't speak today. Is Pro Tools still your DAW of choice?
I feel like it technically still is, and a lot of that comes down to I have those keybinds memorized in the back of my head from like 12, 13 years of using it. I don't currently have a license for it though. My Mac aged out
Hmm.
and I didn't have a perpetual license, but if I ever start working with studio recordings again and like recording bands outside of live music, I'll probably repurchase Pro Tools.
I can never get I had to learn it for audio school as well, and I hated it.
That's the you either use it for everything or you never want to touch it. I never see anybody go like, "Oh, I occasionally use Pro Tools." They're like, "Yeah, that's the worst thing I've ever used in my life," or "This is the standard."
I know that it's the standard, and I know that for like drum editing, it's amazing with beat detector workflow and everything. But I like learned in a hip hop focused environment,
Yeah.
so they all used Logic.
Logic is what I mix in right now because I the license I've had since school still works and I don't need to do any editing. Like I don't automate my mixes, I don't chop anything out, I don't time align obviously. I just need something that can run mixing plugins, so that's all I use.
I mean, that sounds beautiful. Unfortunately, I mix drums in Logic, and it's horrible. Logic,
Yeah.
fix it. Like, dude.
They
Uh,
probably have something that fixed it, but it's probably just some like weird thing that guesses for you and just like
it is.
yeah.
It's not good. It's like what do they call that shit? Flex time.
Yeah, that's probably nothing close to how good Elastic Audio is in Pro Tools.
It's
Like
not.
editing drums in Pro Tools, I used to do that just to relax.
I can't even wrap my mind around that statement. Because I literally the bane of my existence, and I play drums, but mixing drums in Logic is the worst thing I've ever done, and I have to do it all the time because I record metalcore bands.
Yeah, you are going to be making everything as grid perfect as possible then.
Yeah, so maybe I should just get Pro Tools. I don't know. We'll think about it.
Yeah.
So from going into watching the DVD for the Collision Course record and, getting that little taste of like, I want to do that. Um, did you start working in audio before you actually went to school? Were you doing any like side work, case pushing, anything like that?
No, not at all. Cause like when I moved to Arizona for school right out of high school, like I was still 17 when I
Wow.
was packing my bags and getting out of here. So I really didn't do anything other than I had the one summer after I graduated just playing some local shows. Like I was in a terrible deathcore band. I mean, maybe we weren't terrible. Now by today's standards, we're terrible. Um, And like that was really the only taste I ever got of like being involved in live music outside of going to shows. Cause I would go to shows at Peabody's like every weekend. But yeah, no audio experience before school, just, you know, setting up a microphone in my room and recording myself playing drums to see what sounded cool.
I mean, I feel like that's like kind of a big jump is like going from just working in maybe like Audacity or something with one microphone to going into like a studio that probably had like a console and like a patch bay and like outboard gear.
Yeah, but that's what was cool about going to that school is because they kind of taught audio engineering from like the ground up on paper for like a month and a half before you even touched a console. They're like,
Okay.
you got to understand everything about gain structure and how these consoles are routed circuitry wise before we even let you use one.
So that's a big regret of mine. Like most of mine is practical because I just started like mixing at a church. And then from there, I got into like commercial AV, doing like case pushing, cable wrapping until they were like, oh, he knows like stuff. And then started learning to be A2 and everything like that. And I went to school for about a year, but we didn't learn like how a console was wired together and take apart like channel strips and fix ribbon cables and shit like that. Like it was very, like this is what compression is. I'm just like, bro, but I already know what that is.
Yeah, I mean, just because I started doing it, like my first live sound show, if it was sink or swim, like I probably shouldn't have even touched the water. Like I didn't, just because I knew how to, you know, move some stuff around on a console and record it doesn't mean I should have been even touching live sound. So from then to now, I feel like I probably still don't even know as much as I think I know, but
I mean, I would hard disagree because I've heard mixes come like I think you've posted some board mixes before that sounded great.
uh, yeah, it depends on how you feel about board mixes.
I mean, I
Like
usually don't like them, but
I usually hate them. And a lot of that comes down to like hearing drum gates and like never having the right amount of, you know, in the room, you have a lot of things that don't need to touch the PA.
mhm.
So it's just, I don't really like direct board mixes that much, which is why when someone offers them to me, I'm like, can I please get the multi tracks? Like, I'd really prefer to just have multi tracks.
So are you also mixing sets for that you don't record?
Yeah, more often than not now, because when I was the Foundry guy, I was the guy. Like, there was no other audio engineer in that building. Every single show was me. And like me filming shows back then, I would like hit record on my laptop, black the screen out so no one knew I was recording. And I would just like, I didn't ask, I would just film the show. Now there's a lot more of like asking, getting permission. People tour with front of house more frequently now, so it's like, hey, here's a hard drive, the band is gonna, you know, they told you that I could get the tracks, stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, that's fucking hilarious.
I everything at the Foundry was DIY, man, including the way I started making videos, which is just like, you know, the GoPro, no one could see it, the recording I was doing, no one could see it. I would just go home with all these audio files like, yeah, this is all mine now, like I'm gonna make a video out of this.
So you were because there was already a computer recording at the venue, right? You had like one working with the console.
Yeah, it was just plugged in because they had a studio in the basement at the time. So like the two computers were wired together and I could just hit record and it would just pull preamp feeds all night long.
Dude, that is crazy.
Yeah,
What was the console?
it was the worst console ever made. PreSonus Studio Live.
I one of the first consoles I ever touched was a PreSonus Studio Live, and from the moment I touched it, I decided I never ever ever wanted to own anything PreSonus ever.
Yeah, I would hate if there's this one dude working at PreSonus who's been waiting to hit me up for something and they hear me say that, but like for real, that board sucks. Like it's not an analog board or a digital board. It's just like it's just something.
It was like the 16.4.2 or whatever, like that one where it's like it doesn't have a screen or anything. It's just got like the yellow dots that you move. It's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
worst.
everything was just lines or like lights moving up and down, and the only way you could see what you were doing is if you ran a computer with their like DAW control on.
Yeah. I despise that console.
Yeah, everyone who came through that venue despised that console too. And I didn't know why. Like back then I was like, "Oh, what do you mean, man? It sounds good. Like I use it every night." And then like I finally saw like an M32 and I was like, "Wait, what do you mean?"
Yeah, I was like, that was whenever I saw I was mixing like on a studio live at the church that I went to, and then I ended up going to like ministry school and saw a this is before Avid. I saw a DigiDesign venue,
But yeah,
and I was
that's
like, "What is that?"
that's a way different league. That is the studio live. I don't know why they call it that, because it shouldn't be using anyone's studio or anyone's
Or
venue.
or anyone's live. It should just be straight to the trash.
Yeah, 80-pound paperweight.
100, like, yeah, if that. Like, I don't know if it's even useful for that. So yeah, please, Personas. I know that they fixed like a bunch and they've tried to like revive that Studio Live system and it looks better now, but I still see their UI like with their apps and stuff, and I don't want it. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry to anyone at Personas that's just completely like beating themselves up right
they
now.
probably know. Honestly, like
You have to know, right?
yeah,
You're an audio engineer working at a company that's doing like, they've got to have an end user support guy being like, this is complete dog shit.
yeah. They probably look at their market share too. Like, what's everyone buying? Not our thing. They're buying, you know, X32s, M32s, Allen and Heath, Wing, Digico.
The price point of the Studio Live ecosystem costs more than an SQ5.
That's ridiculous. It should never
Buy
be like that.
buy an SQ5 and put a Waves card in it. Like, just do that.
Yeah. And that thing only had analog boards. So we had like a 32 or analog pre's. I mean, like there was
Mhm.
no cat line you could run. So we just had this 32 channel analog snake that we would just like lift with the four of us.
If you ever get on a tour, you should come see the venue that I mix at.
Which one is it?
It's Fufun Electric. It's like our CBGB.
Okay.
So like the main room is about a 600 cap venue, and it used to have an SC48 that apparently died but isn't dead. So they replaced it with an Avantis.
Okay.
That is the slowest DSP on a console I've ever experienced. Like
Nice.
they tried to pack as much as possible in it, and it's slow.
Yeah, I don't want to touch that board at all then.
It's not that bad. Honestly, it sounds great because it's Allen and Heath. But like, yeah, like sometimes I'll be mixing and I'm trying to like move an EQ, and like the top half of one of the screens will like just like not respond for the rest of the show.
But it's still doing something. It's just not showing you what it's doing, right?
No, it's not like the touch like doesn't touch. So it's like I'm trying to touch the EQ band and it won't move.
Nice.
So I have to try to get an encoder to where I want it to go and then do that.
Oh, but without a touch screen to put an FX spill somewhere else, that kind of sounds awful.
Yeah, so now like me and the other guys have found a workaround where you just have some empty channels on the other side, and if that happens, you can just throw the channel you need to and like move it out of the way. It's kind of ghetto.
You got to
Uh,
figure it out.
yeah, so I actually kind of prefer the X32 on the other in the other room, because I know it works.
That's why the X32 is so good. It's cheap and it works. It might not be the best sounding console out there, but it's cheap and it works.
Well, now you can run Waves native.
That's sick.
So all you need is a USB cable and a computer that has a decent processor, and route anything you want on that left-right bus. Ooh,
Yeah, I haven't messed around enough with that at all. I have a wing now, so
hell yeah.
I've still only barely gotten into what that thing can do, but I love it. It best investment I've made in a while was getting my own board finally, and I'm glad I went with the wing.
I've been debating if I want to get a used M32 with like a 32 channel snake or get a wing.
Yeah, wing compact. I should have specified I have a wing compact,
Yeah,
which I like better than the full size wing. When I use the full size wing, because one of the venues around here has one, I'm like, I kind of like the convenience of the stuff they put on the compact more.
yeah, I don't think you need that many faders.
No, no, you don't. You don't need that little section at the top right with like the preamp and the gate lights and all that stuff either. Like Yeah, I like the little screen I have on the side of my wing that lets me just hit the button for what I want to do and it just goes.
I haven't had the opportunity to work on a wing yet, but my brother works on one regularly and he loves it. He
Yeah.
said he loves it, but then he said that there's some stupid IO stuff that he doesn't like. And
Mm,
I can't remember exactly what he said about it, about like trying to route things to your output is kind of convoluted in a way.
you just have to it makes you triple check your work. You can route things into your channel, but then you have to route things on the back end to go elsewhere, and it's not just like channel to channel. But it at least it doesn't make you do blocks of 4, blocks of 8 like the X32
That's
does.
what I said. I was like, well, at least it's not fucking like, well, and they did do a fix for it, but the fix is really stupid. The user routing,
But yeah, yeah,
but I don't, it's like an extra step you have to do that's really annoying.
yeah. I never touch like the user channels, user routing screens, and all that. Like if I'm working on an XRM32, I know what I have to deal with, which has ruined some of my tracking before. To be clear, like. What do you mean the first 8 are local? They're like, oh, yeah, because some of the shows we run this other stuff in. I'm like, because it's got to be routed either AES or local. And I always got to double check.
So the user routing does help, but it's a pain in the ass because you have to set all of your ins and outs, or you can just set all of your ins to user, and but then you have to go into the app and like select what each input is going to be. So you can do blocks of 8, or you can do like, like split your AES 50 in your locals, or AES 50A and AES 50Bs. Like you make it whatever you want. It's kind of like how they created, like on the wing, how you can put any channel wherever you want.
Right.
So it's like that.
Yeah, I like that the wing you can just do a hybrid of everything.
Hmm.
If you want to just run like local one, then AES one, AESB one, like you can, and as long as you assign it that way everywhere else too, which is probably where
Yeah,
people start to hate the routing.
that's my brother. Yeah,
Yeah,
but he's more like he's used to doing like the rock and roll, like set up, tear down festival style shit. So I'm sure if he owned his own where he could just do the whole routing and have his workflow, it'd be great, which is what you're gonna do, obviously. So I think it sounds good too.
but yeah, I love the emulations on the wing. I think like the built-in distressor 76, all the source extractor, all that stuff super convenient.
It's good bang for your buck. It's like what is it, $5,000 for the compact?
I no, I think it's well, I bought it at the beginning of the year before things got more expensive. So I think it was like mid threes at the time.
Maybe it's 5 Canadian. I might be thinking in Canadian.
Yeah, your dollar's probably worth more than ours. So
Opposite. It's the exchange rate between the US and Canada right now is insane.
damn.
It's like $1.50 Canadian is $1 US.
Oh
Yeah.
well, I guess I'm rich in Canada.
You are. You could come be a straight up baller in Montreal. Um, I'm trying to think of where to go from here because that was I'm trying not to nerd out too much because I could just talk gear the whole time.
Yeah,
Like, what's the worst PA setup you've ever mixed on?
the one we had at the foundry for 9 years. uh it was like a homemade system. It was like the guy who used to own the venue built it himself, and like I swear one of the speaker wire inputs was like from a Hoover vacuum. Like it was just cable, it was just wire, but it wasn't audio wire. Oh yeah, that room, for as cool as everyone says those videos were, and if they ever came to that room, they're like, man, this room sounds like shit, and it's small. And I'm like, yeah, it sounds like shit here.
Is that even after like trying to tune the PA?
Yeah, because there was really no mid range in it. It had some decent subs, and it had like 4K and up, but there was just nothing to do in the middle. So
Damn.
if you had a loud vocalist, everything was fine, and like everything else would come off stage essentially. But if you actually had like a full production setup with bands with like heavy tracks, or if like you were electronic music, it sounded terrible.
Damn. That is it's similar to our big room. I think that it's very, very similar. The other room that we have is like a more standard PA, like 2 up, 2 down, and sounds good with tuning. But the other one I've spent an hour tuning and I'm like, dude, where the fuck is the warmth?
Yeah.
it's all mud and like 5K and up.
That's awful. But it probably sounds great in like a DIY show, which was like when my mixes sounded good is when it was just like straight hardcore bands or just
Hmm.
straight beat down bands and like drums are getting hit heavy, the guitar amps are loud, the vocalist is loud. Uh, if you were a quiet vocalist in that room, I got a lot of bad looks at those shows. Yeah, it sucked because like there was no other engineer, so like everyone was like, "Well, this room sucks because of him." Like, I'm like,
Get
no,
rid of this guy.
I'm like, guys, we don't have the money for a PA system.
The owner's like, we pay him in beers. Like, I don't know. I can't get rid of him. Who else is going to work for beers?
Yeah, that was the old ownership. I went through a couple different owners there, a couple different managers there, and I kind of persisted. I kind of just kept showing up, to be honest.
What's like, who else is going to do it, right?
Yeah, I mean, they fired me twice, and I still ended up becoming the full time head engineer there. Like, and that was all the way through COVID. So,
What has been the highlight so far? Like the band that you've worked with that you never would have expected.
um, hmm. I feel like last year when I got to do Whitechapel, that was kind of a big one for me, especially because they also were the first band to get me like access to the Agora Theater as like like you can go on stage, put cameras up, and like do whatever you want. Like the show is yours to do with. Which in certain venues, if you're like in a corporate venue setting, someone that's owned by Live Nation or AEG, like the Agora is, you usually have to deal with a lot of red tape as someone who's doing media. Plus like it's fucking Whitechapel. I was listening to them when I was a teenager. Like, and I just filmed them again a week and a half ago, and like it's just so cool that they're so down to work with me on that stuff.
That's awesome. I know that those guys do have that. They still have that kind of humility.
Yeah, yeah, they're super cool. Like their crew is awesome. Their front of house is like one of the best engineers I've encountered on the road too. Brandon is awesome.
That's sick. Is there a band? Maybe don't name them, but give the experience of like a nightmare.
Nightmare in what sense? Like running sound, working for them, or them
Maybe
being
maybe
not
running sound,
cool?
like the configuration is just bad, or they like wanted something that was just impossible.
I mean, when I was working at the Foundry, half the stuff people wanted was impossible. Like, for example, they wanted 4 working mic stands. They were lucky if we had that.
We need overheads. We don't own overheads.
Yeah, yeah, that stuff like that. I feel like the stuff that never went well, I always just felt like it is what it is. I've kind of never held on to any of those experiences being like, man, this is a nightmare gig. I hate dealing with this. There's like nightmare TMs and there's nightmare artist managers, and you never see them again. Like that's the nice thing is like the cool TMs and the cool front of house engineers, you see them 3 times a year. The dickhead that like gave you a hard time because he couldn't hear his vocal reverb in his, for some reason the TM has an in-ear mix, like
Dude, what?
yeah, trust me, I've mixed in-ear mixes for a TM before.
Oh man,
you never see those guys again.
No.
They don't have what it takes because you need to have like a good personality to be in that kind of position.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's one and done, wash it off, you never see them again.
Isn't it interesting that you can deal with like a band on stage that's maybe hard to deal with, or you can deal with like a shitty PA or not so great setup, but what really like breaks the back is a TM. It's always a TM. It's like, dude, this guy, because you're dealing with him at advance. You're not even dealing like it's not just the show.
Yeah. Yeah. The weird like backhanded 1 sentence emails that you'll get, and like I don't know, it's never fun. You always know when the gig's going to be a bad gig before it even happens because you've read all the advance emails. You've gotten like this, you cannot achieve what they want you to achieve type situation. Yeah.
Yeah, the writer, it's like, dude, we need a PA that has up to 50,000 watts. It's like, where are you getting this? This is our festival.
They'll bring one, like they'll rent one. While the old Foundry was still open, bands would legitimately be like, okay, like we're gonna have to go rent a different PA to play this room. And I'm thinking like, why even play this room then?
Then don't play.
Yeah.
I've never experienced that. Thank goodness. I would probably just give like a weird look, like, all right, have fun with that.
Yeah, the band, I will not name names, but the band I'm thinking of, they actually blew their rental PA. So they rented one and then they pushed it too hard.
What was
So
the
it's
genre?
death metal.
Death metal?
Yeah, death metal.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but like a death metal band that's been around the block for a while and probably used to play rooms that were as big enough to be as loud as they wanted to be and kind of were on the down.
Okay, we can do some deductive reasoning to find that one maybe. Death metal's hot again though, so it's kind of hard. What would be, because you don't really tour.
No, I don't. I've had a few like I don't even want to say like offers, but just like conversations about it. It's something I feel like I still will eventually do. It's just like it's a weird part of my life. I'm trying to buy a house. Like I can't really go on the road. I can't give up my full-time job. That's like the weird post-COVID life of me is I used to be a full-time audio engineer, mix shows, film shows, and now it's like, well, I work 5 days a week, but if there's a really cool show coming through, I'll make it out.
That's where I'm at as well,
Yeah.
because I have like a 9 to 6, but there might have been days when I called in sick so that I could go and work a show.
Yeah, my job's pretty cool. They understand. Like they know that like I still have a lot that I established before I started working at a stupid day job. So like they understand, hey, like it means a lot to you to go do these shows and you're probably not going to feel very happy about working with us if we don't let you do it. So yeah, as long as I'm good at keeping track of my calendar and getting the right dates off,
Hmm.
yeah, it works out. But I do want when the right opportunity comes up, I do want to just like drop everything and go.
So, off the top of your head,
Yeah.
what would be that? What would be the band that would be like, we need you to run front of house 2 months, full US? Who's the band that's gonna make you quit the job or like put the job on unpaid absent leave and hit the road?
I don't know because some of those conversations were with bands that I feel like I would have said yes to.
No.
I don't know. I feel like it's as much as it sucks to say, I feel like it's not going to be just about the band. I mean, the band needs to be a band I want to work with, but like it has to be like the money, unfortunately. Like I have to get paid enough to do it.
Yeah.
It has to make sense. And then like if I come home with no job anymore, then I got to go back to grinding the local venue scene again. Um, yeah,
You
it's just
gotta
tough.
you got a very level head because for me, my ADHD ass would be like, I'll go on tour. Sure. Pay me $100 a day.
Don't don't do anything for $100 a day. Please don't do anything for $100 a day.
I won't tell you how much I'm getting paid right now.
Boy.
No, I took it's a long story, but it's a hustle. I mean, I was hoping for a cool, like, hypothetically, what would be the band that you'd want to tour with?
Man, I hate giving answers like this because I meet everyone's front of house. I'm like, damn, that guy's better than me. Uh,
Be selfish right now. Just this is about you, Leo.
about me?
Yeah, this is you. You know, imagine that the front of house guy doesn't exist,
Yeah.
and that you could just like have a lineup of bands and be like, I want to do that one. It's Motionless in White. No, I'm just kidding. It's not.
Um, damn. I mean, I would go out for Boundaries 100% if they
Hell
asked
yeah.
me. And their sound guy's really good. He, he's really good. He'd also mixes Cane Hill. So if he's ever out with Cane Hill and they need me, I'll go.
There you go. That's the
Yeah.
scenario. Yeah.
Yeah. Those are the type of scenarios it has to be. Something like that. Yeah. Like I've had conversations with 156 Silence that almost turned into something. That's a band I would go out with. So like if they want to ask me again, I might say yes next time. Um, yeah, like I want to go out with a band that's like on the rise and not so big that like it's not going to be a fun like I don't want to do a stale corporate gig tour, where
Yeah.
you're just doing corpo venues and everyone's doing everything for you. I still want there to be like some DIY grind to it if I ever go out and do one. So yeah, I feel like I'd want to go out with like not the band that's been doing this for 15 years, but like the band that's breaking out into their big rooms for the first time or something like that.
But they still have an in-ear monitor rig.
Yeah, in-ear monitor rig's cool, and it's surprising how many people still do a little bit of stage wedge with their in-ear monitor
Mhm.
rig. and still bring a monitor engineer with them despite being on an in-ear setup. So I just did a show a couple weeks ago with Loathe, and they have a full monitor board because they run both wedges, side fills, and in-ears. So
That is a lot.
it's a lot, but if you think about it, that's tradition. Like everyone used to have a monitor engineer. It's just now they're doing a little bit of a different thing because there's
Hmm.
playback. You're also a playback engineer at that point.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So the that guy's also sending playback to front of house and mixing. I guess is he doing any live mixing of the stems? Because I know they have pretty extensive playback.
No, it's they're essentially running identical consoles, front of house and monitors,
Okay,
and they're taking care of stage sound, playback, and in-ears on one, and then just front of house and everything else is on the other.
cool.
Yeah. Plus, you're also running redundancy if you ever need to.
Loathe is a band, like, it may not be my favorite music, but seeing what they've done in the amount of time that they've been around is crazy. And I've seen them live like 3 times, and every time I'm like, that sound, like, I don't even understand how some of that sound comes out.
Yeah, they played at the Roxy, and like a year and a half prior, I filmed them in the small room in the same building, and like then they packed out the Roxy. So I'm sure next time around they'll just be playing like theaters.
Here, they're playing theaters,
Yeah,
like, close to selling it out.
they
But
probably could play theaters here already. Honestly, they
I
had this show sold out for months.
I think they could, because last time they sold out a 500 cap room, and it's not a theater, but it's not like a traditional venue either.
Yeah,
Like they call it the Fairmount Theater, but it's not a theater. So I think next time they could look to doing like an 8 or a 9 cap, and
yeah,
probably get close to selling it out with the right lineup. But
that's sick. It's so crazy watching how quickly some bands will jump up in the size of venues they play, but it's also just super cool to see for them. Like Thornhill, same year I saw them in a 300 cap. They opened for Sleep Token in basketball arenas.
yeah,
Like,
Pain of Truth.
yeah, dude, Pain of Truth.
Pain of
That
Truth is playing like AMH, and then the next year they're playing like theaters, like big theaters.
they deserve it, man. They're so sick. They also, within the same year of playing in the Roxy, were playing in the outdoor pavilion because they were out on a bigger tour. So
With the ADTR tour, I think. Yeah.
yeah, that one.
And then another one that are you following Haywire at all?
Not really. I hear the name all the time though.
So I think they might become the biggest hardcore band in the world within the next 5 years. They're getting crazy big, like,
Okay.
and I feel like they just kind of got out, like, putting out music and stuff maybe 3 years ago.
I feel like they're on my list of bands I'm filming next year. Um, any chance they're going out with Drain? Are-
Maybe it's not announced.
okay. This was announced already.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because I thought the next big hardcore band is Drain.
No, I don't think. I think that they saw a really big surge,
Yeah.
and then joined Epitaph and all that. But
Yeah.
I kind of feel like they plateaued a bit, and that's no, like, I'm not. That's no offense or anything, because I
Yeah.
really enjoy Drain. Um, but it seemed like they kind of did, like, hit a ceiling. I don't know what happened.
Interesting. Yeah. Seeing them on that show. Who headlined the show I filmed? Kubla Khan. Yeah.
Okay.
The crowd was there for Drain, in my
Yeah.
opinion. They were there for a Drain show, and some of them stayed for a Kubla Khan show.
I I like Kubla Khan. I've been listening to Kubla Khan since 2011.
Yeah. I've done. I think that's the band I've posted the most on my YouTube channel. I think we had a joke running for a while. They're like, he's gonna film Kubla Khan 3 times this year. Like, but I mean, same idea from 100 people in the Foundry to 2,000 people at the Agora. I've filmed them a bunch of times.
Mhm.
Yeah, sick band, super consistent live sound, just heavy as balls.
I think that's what gets you there is consistency. Like, I
Yeah,
think that bringing the same show in a 100 cap to a 2000 cap, the same show, that's how you get there.
yeah, yeah. I agree, and like never acting like you got any bigger. Like just keep grinding. Like when they
Mhm.
were playing in the Agora Theater, they were using a house guy and wedges, and I'm like, yeah, that's sick.
They don't, yeah, I don't think I've ever seen them with a front of house guy.
They had a front of house guy at the Roxy. They used Elmo, who was like one of my favorite touring front of house guys. He was mixing them and Gideon.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, and
Dude,
I'm gonna see him mixing again in a few weeks or next week. Because he's out with a Void right now. So
I've only seen that name like once or twice, and I've listened to them, but I've never seen them come through.
I feel like they didn't tour a ton for a little bit. But I think now they're probably going to be out for the consistent part of the next few years.
Man, I don't know if I can tour like that.
I mean, I clearly don't. So yeah, I don't even know like what my brain would do if I'm out of the house for a couple weeks. Like I'd probably get homesick so fast. I'm such a
Yeah,
homebody at heart. Like working in shows was usually the most comfortable I could be being in an out of the house job because I got to hide in my little corner. And like if I didn't want to talk to anybody, I wouldn't talk to anybody.
that's that's funny. Like whenever I was doing gigs and stuff, my wife would be like, "I never get to see you," like because she works 9 to 5, and so I'm gone when she's at home, and vice versa. Like I'm sleeping and doing my errands and stuff during the day, and so I stopped like after COVID. I kind of stopped everything and was like, maybe I should do something else, and it's definitely an adjustment. Like I love doing sound. Like I love it and I love the energy and the like feeling of like seeing something come through and you like helped build it.
Yeah.
So it's just yeah, it's definitely very different like not doing that. But I do like not being out every weekend evening.
Yeah, I don't think I'm done being a full-time front of house engineer in my life. I think I'm on a really long break. Like I feel like once I have like the keys to a house in my hand and it doesn't matter how I make my money anymore, I'm probably just gonna go back to doing gigs. But
Hmm.
like I don't miss getting home at 3 in the morning some nights after a late loadout. It's like there's definitely some nice consistency of guaranteeing being home by like at least 10 p.m., maybe earlier.
Yeah. That's I hate the late gigs do kind of fuck me up a bit. Like if it's like a long emo night like special thing I have to run.
Not the emo nights, man.
Don't
Not...
don't it's
No,
listen,
they're the worst.
it's horrible.
It was like, oh, yeah, you're the engineer tonight, right? Okay, so I'm turning up a left right Spotify and sitting here for 5 hours. Like, that's it.
Luckily ours is a little bit more involved because the guys who run it really love that shit, but like it's still just a DJ playing off Spotify and one guy like doing MC shit and singing along, like lip syncing to tracks.
Yeah, I feel like that's what emo night is everywhere. It's just a matter of how big of a stage is it on. Nothing worse than an emo night after the show. Like you
Oh,
have four bands and then they got to get out of the venue in 10 minutes because emo night's starting.
I think that's like if you hate your sound guy, you make them do that. Like you can find the teenager that wants to learn how to do sound and put them for emo night.
Yeah, I should have taken on like an apprentice or
Like
something and be
an
like, hey,
intern.
like, see, you want to work out a sold out gig every week? Emo night always sells out.
It's once a month. It's consistent. Yeah, you'll learn.
You'll learn how to tune the PA and that's it.
I'm telling once you learn how to tune a PA, you I think you can significantly get better at mixing.
Yeah, I agree. Especially if
I,
you understand why you're doing it.
yeah, the magic is in the tuning.
Yeah. Like when I said the first gig I did live sound, sink or swim, like they left everything flat, all the monitors, the PA. And I never really worked in a venue before. So I'm like, why is this feeding back? Yeah, you learn.
Dude, same. Why didn't I save that mix? Why didn't I save once the feedback stopped? I didn't save it. Why didn't I save it? Why did I come in flat for the next 6 shows? Oh man.
Yeah. Then, yeah, you know what? I didn't really learn. I just loaded up someone else's preset next time. I just
Yeah.
started rocking off someone else's preset. And I learned by reading their stuff.
Nobody complained when they were mixing. I might just use their shit.
Yeah. I'm like, man, I saw a show here last week. I wonder, oh, yeah, he did save it. Yeah.
Oh,
But
you
it's
can
on the
do that?
studio live. So I had to use the green lights real quick. Where does this go?
The tiny LCD monitor with the blue background.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Horrible. Personas, get your shit together. I can't say it enough. Well, Leo, I really do appreciate you hanging out. I'm sorry to anybody who has listened this far and been like, when are they gonna talk about something that isn't sound? That's just what it is, you
Yeah,
know?
there's really, I wish I could say I knew anything else, to be honest. Uh,
Get on your soapbox right quick and just say, what is the one PSA that you would tell every band ever that you like what's just one thing that you would say to every band that you can't say enough?
um, it's okay to pay a bass player.
Dude.
I'm and like there's a reason that when I'm mixing these sets that we have a little emote in my chat that's a MacBook holding a bass guitar. Like I'm so ready for bands to have bass players again. But I get it, it's a business, but like I'm sure there's some people out there who will play bass for cheap.
Dude, that's such a good PSA. Like there's a reason there are bassists.
Yeah. And
The,
it makes a difference. It makes a difference for sure.
and usually if you have a bassist in the band, better energy, because let's be honest, bass isn't that hard to learn.
No, I've played bass in a band. I'm a drummer.
Same.
But like it was just like bands I was recording and they're like, "So you know our songs now, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "You ever played a bass?" I'm like, "No." They're like, "Can you look like an idiot on stage?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Can do.
Yeah.
I've been trapped behind this cage for so long.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a great time. Ended up playing bass more than I played drums when all was said and done, but whatever.
Isn't that such a bitch that I'm sure you're a good drummer. Like
Yeah, I've been playing drums for like 20 years.
Yeah, same. Why am I always playing bass?
Yeah, my drums sit in storage, so I can't say anything about it. The bass guitars live right behind me. I don't have anywhere to play my drums, but it was just like you also get picky about like what your drummer's doing. Like I got to play bass. Like so lock in, dude.
I think playing bass makes you a better drummer.
Yeah, but playing drums does not make you a better bass player.
Absolutely not.
Maybe you can keep time, but like, yeah, maybe that's why they backtrack them.
My favorite's when you're playing bass in the band, but for some reason the drummer is not as good as like, so it's like, can we just switch?
I wanted to, whatever.
I'm not naming. Listen,
Yeah.
I'm not naming any names.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I feel like there was only one band I played in on bass that had a good drummer, but like the other ones, man, like why aren't they the ones playing bass? Why didn't you just pick between the two of us, like drum off? Who's playing this song better?
I can't say anything to that. Like I don't want to incriminate myself. So I agree. I know I understand I understand the plight. That just means, reliability, right?
Yeah, that would be my PSA for the bands for sure.
Get a bassist. Find your
Yeah.
cousin that kind of likes music and give him a bass.
Yeah, just like he'll be along just for the ride, just to have fun.
In fact, like just find a cool looking friend. Like find your friend that looks the coolest and just be like, you know what? I think I could teach you bass. You want to be in a band? They'll probably want to be in a band.
Yeah. Yeah, just, there's 8 songs. You can't take that long to learn 8 songs, right? And if your bass parts are that complicated, then you're probably backtracking your rhythm guitar instead.
Woo! We're giving some hot takes out here tonight. Well, I really appreciate your time. I just have one last question for you before we wrap things up.
Yes.
What's your favorite city for beans and breakdowns?
My favorite city for beans and breakdowns. Is there a wrong answer here?
I think if you don't say a certain answer, there might be.
Grand Rap, no. I did have a good time in Grand Rapids, I will
Good
say.
breakdowns.
Yeah. It's Cleveland. It's Cleveland. It's probably Lakewood, but not Cleveland. But Lakewood is Cleveland depending on who you ask. So,
It's right next to it.
it is it. It's just like, remember how I said we've acknowledged the smell of Cleveland? Lakewood smells nice.
You might get shit for that.
That's fine. It's shit that doesn't stink.
Cleveland's the best. All right, Cleveland is sick. I mean, I love Montreal. I love living here, but I love Cleveland, and I love Integrity and Ringworm, and the countless other bands that I can't think of right now.
Yeah. Thank you for not saying mushroom head.
Why would I ever say that? I would never bring that up. What are you trying to do here?
I'm trying to derail the whole thing. I think
No, it's you're trying to dig us a hole that is impossible to escape from. Um,
no. I feel like I dig that hole when I mentioned the PreSonus.
no, that just means we're never like neither one of us is getting sponsored by them anytime soon, unless they do a crazy PR heel turn and send both of us their newest equipment to like review.
Oh man, that
PreSonus, what's up?
they got their version of the wing. The touch screen doesn't have any touch features, but it's there.
What are y'all doing?
No, I don't even know if that's a
It's
thing or not.
2025. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sure that they'll one day be able to compete, but I think they make audio gear for people that don't know how to do audio.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's why I had to start on one. I had to earn the X32, you know, or someone had to spill beer on the studio live, one or the other. But
We won't say who spilled the beer on the studio live.
I won't then.
Did you spill the beer on the
No, it was the previous owner. It's okay though.
on purpose?
I kind of feel like yeah. It's okay though. I feel like they had good intention. Plus, like, if you're gonna replace it, it's fine. It was not a bad day for me. It was not a bad day to unbox an X32.
Man, that's never a bad day.
Yeah.
Leo, again, thank you so much. I hope that the sets you have coming up and everything are going great. I don't know how to say it because usually I say like I hope your upcoming tour goes great, but
I do have some videos coming out soon I'm very stoked about, and I've been very happy to start work with new venues, new bands, and I'm hopeful that the continuing of better mixes and bigger bands means I can keep doing more. So that's my hope for the next year at least, is like maybe some more doors open.
see that YouTube keep growing.
I hope so. I really do.